everyone. Gugesh missed a crucial chance to defeat Ding Liren and take the lead at FIDE World Championship match, round 7, presented by Google. While it was not an easy win, opportunities like this must be seized at this level. Despite this, Gugesh feels positive about the game, having outplayed the world champion in the opening and also in the middle game. As a fact, Ding Liren himself acknowledged Gugesh knows he must improve at converting advantage into wins. With the match halfway through, the battle continues for the title. Let's move on to the game. Gugesh played one NF3, first time in this championship, never played before in this championship. Ding opened D5, G3, G6, D4, Bishop G7. Fianchetto's Grunfeld setup. C4, C6, Bishop G2, Knight F6, short castle, Rook E1, D cross C4. Here for D cross C4, Ding spent 28 minutes to make this move. Maybe Ding is trying something new. E4, Bishop G4, Knight BD2, C5, D5, E6, H3, Bishop takes F3. In game, Mukesh played Bishop takes F3. But instead of Bishop takes F3, if White plays Knight takes F3, then E takes D5, E takes D5, Knight BD7, Bishop G5, H6, Bishop F4, Knight H5 with the equal material as well as in the position. So here Bishop takes F3 seems good, keeping the bishop in an active position. E takes D5, E takes D5. Here the d pawn is isolated anyhow for white. So if black plays knight takes d5, it's a mistake because of knight takes e4 with an advantage for white. White bishop is white light square bishop is too much active in this position. It's good for a white, and the bishop pair is also there for Gugesh. But in game, black played nbd7 instead of knight takes e4, b5, knight a3, queen b6, bishop f4, rook f e8, queen d2, rook a d8, knight c2. Here almost Gugesh spent 17 minutes to play this move. Maybe instead of knight c2, rook a d1 now looks little bit better. Knight c2 is also fine. So nf8, b4, nice break, c4 in the game. Instead of c4, if black plays c takes b4, then knight takes b4, knight e4, bishop takes e4, bishop takes e1. Even exchange down for white, but this position is almost equal because of the double bishop advantage and also uh, all d pawn is a pass pawn. Anyhow, the position is equal. So after c4, black didn't play knight e4. Black White played bishop e3, queen a6, bishop d4, putting the dark square bishop in the long diagonal so that to exchange the black dark square bishop. Rook takes e1, rook takes e1. So here, Ding give up his e file fully to Gugesh, capture this a2 pawn. So after queen takes a2, the position seems good for Gugesh because of rook a1, a wonderful move which creates some active play for the white rook. Queen b3, after queen b3, rook a3, queen b1 sharp, king g2. The a pawn is anyhow hanging, so rook d7, rook a5. So now the b5 pawn is under attack. So queen b3, rook a3, queen b1. Maybe to gain the time, white played this rook a3, rook a5 again, queen b3. I think Ding is expecting repetition for a block line, but here Vivesh played rook takes b5, queen d3. So after queen d3, the position is so better for white. There is a move for white, but Vivesh missed and played queen f4 in the game. We can pause the video and check. Will you able to find the white best move in this? Bishop e3 is good. After bishop e3, if queen takes d2, then bishop takes d2, knight e8, rook d8, rook c5, rook d8, rook takes c4, winning the c pawn, a very dangerous pawn in the one game. So instead, Gugesh played queen f4 in the game, queen f4, queen takes c2, bishop takes f6, queen f5. After queen f5, forcing to capture the, forcing to trade the queen. So if black plays bishop takes f6 instead, then queen takes f6 is an advantage for white. White is completely winning. But after queen f5, Vish trades the queen, g takes f5. Now you see the black pawns, all the black pawns are weak, all are isolated pawns. So it's easy to grab all the pawns in the end game. Somehow we should keep an eye on the c pawn, and we should find a way to improvise the d pawn as well as the king. And you see the position for black. Rook is staying in the seventh rank to support the a7 pawn and also to block the d pawn, white's d pawn. And the d pawn is doing a great job by controlling the e6 square so that the knight could not jump to e6. Now after bishop takes g7, king takes g7, rook c5. Now that knight is relieved after a few moves. Knight moves to g6, rook takes c4. Here Gugesh is pawn up with strong winning chances. So knight e5, rook d4. Here in game, Ding played knight c6. Instead, knight c6. If black plays knight takes f3, this gives a clear advantage the rook pawn in game, because already the position is gives his pawn up as well as king is also advanced and black pawns are weak. So it's very easy to convert this position into a winning endgame. But Ding played knight c6. Here, computer shows rook d2 in the game. Rook d2 so that if knight takes d4, then you can play this d6 to play after some moves, some chances to improvise the position. Uh, you can attack the rook with the bishop after some moves and also to improve the pawn. You can convert the pawn to a queen later in the position. But Gugesh played rook f4 in this position. Rook f4 attacking the f5 pawn. So knight e7, ding b5, king f6. Instead of king f6, if black plays knight takes d5, then rook takes f5. After knight c7, rook c5. This is also seems good for white. But in game, Ding continued with king f6, advancing the king, rook d4, supporting the pawn, a very important pawn, h6, king f1, king e5. So Ding's king is well advanced and creating some play in this position. Rook h4, knight takes d4. White is giving up the center pawn, which is not much improved. So instead, he took the h pawn, creating some passing chances for his h pawn after knight c3, rook c6. At this point, computer is clearly showing 1.1.7 advantage for Gugesh. Here, finally, Ding played a knight e4. This this is a move Ding played. After that, uh, this is it shows nearly 2 points to Gugesh. Here, rook a6 simply holding the black rook for some time and start pushing the h pawn seems great for Gugesh, but he went king e1. This gives clearly slight advantage for only for Gugesh. Clearly, Gugesh loses his 2 point advantage and it went down to one, uh, went down to 0.50 in the computer analysis. So after king e1, king played f6, h4. Gugesh is trying to push the h pawn to create some passer. Rook d3. Here, Gugesh made a mistake by playing bishop d1. This loses his 0.50 advantage and almost at this point it's equalized the game. Instead of bishop d1, if Gugesh plays king e2, this is good so that he can maintain his advantage for some more time. So after king e2, if black plays rook b3, then this move bishop takes e4, f takes e4, rook c5, king d4, rook f5 gives some advantage because the h pawn is also show some great chances to promote and this is good. Almost black uh, play is almost over, but he missed and he played bishop d1. This gives a huge error, and Ding finally find the f4 only saving move in this game. So after f4, g takes f4, king takes f4. Now the pawns are splitted, and even though Bugis is still pawn up, but you can see the black pieces, all rook, knight, and king. Black rook, knight, and king. All are doing a great job by controlling the position, and especially the black king. Black king is well advanced and creating some some chances to hold the position. So bishop c2, rook d5, rook c4, f5, rook b4, king f3. Here king Ding's black king is well advanced and playing a beautiful role in his chances. Bishop d1, king g2, rook b3, rook e5 with an idea of knight takes f2, f4, rook e7, rook e3, rook h7, h5, knight f6, rook e5. Now the f5 pawn is also hanging, but after knight takes h5, the only passed pawn is also lost here. So rook takes f5. White is also simultaneously creating another passed pawn for the f file, but the knight g3, rook f8, rook b7, bishop a4. Now the king is chasing the final pass pawn. Black king is chasing the final pass pawn. F5, king f4, f6, knight a4, so bishop c2, knight d6, rook d8, king e5, bishop b3. If black makes an error like knight takes b5, then f7 is clearly winning for white. But Ding played correctly by playing this knight f7. Knight f7, rook d5 check, king takes f6. Now finally Ding evens the material, and clearly it's a draw. We realized he made a mistake in the middle game to end game. Rook b6, bishop c4, rook d6, king d3, sorry, king c3, rook takes d5, bishop takes d5, knight, knight d6, king b4, knight takes b5, king takes b5, a6, king takes e6. So half of the world championship is completed, another half is going to start. Stay tuned. Thanks and bye.